Dude, what's good? What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm feeling bummed. I should have done my hair. I'm looking at you. I'm like, damn, that looks awesome. I should have slicked it up. I realized, like, I'll put the headphones on. Like, ooh, yeah,
Man,
we'll block that part out.
all I've done is had a shower and like 2 cups of coffee. So like I might look like I'm put together, but I'm hanging in there, brother.
Dude, I love it. I'm jealous. I'm about to say, wait, is it morning for you guys? It's pretty
It's
early, right?
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Okay, so just getting started there,
Just
dude.
getting warmed
Heck
up.
yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
right on, man. Well, dude, thanks for taking some time to hang with me, man.
No, I appreciate it. What's news in your part of the world? What have you been up to?
Dude, honestly, it's raining right now. It's been raining. It's weird. We had like really good weather for a bit, and now it's just been like nasty weather.
Okay.
And I don't thrive. I don't thrive very much in this weather. I'm like this is crazy. So just been hanging, honestly, working on new music a bunch, like every
Sick.
day. I just like my wife leaves to work and I like set up like a makeshift studio in our house and like
Fuck
start
yeah.
like demoing songs out and yeah, and then she comes home and I'm like,
Put
tear
it all
back
away.
down.
Quick,
Yeah.
hide.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, okay, don't worry. Our closet in our bedroom is actually a studio for the 8 hours that you're gone.
Dude, I feel you. We have this podcast set up in our living room at the moment. We did have a studio downstairs, and then we had a friend move in, so he needed the space. So I have like a temporary setup, and now I'm trying to like convert our garage into the new studio. So like, I feel you. I'm all about the impromptu, just like make it work. Just put the shit wherever it needs to go.
Yeah, but isn't that so sick that we can do that? You can set up your mic, you get your whole, I feel like the hardest part is the background. You know what I mean? Like you got like a nice plan, some dope posters. I'm like, okay, how do I get? I gotta find a little clean area. But yeah, no. So all is well, man.
I can't let my feelings show.
What's the vibe like in California? I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and it's a long story, but it was a pretty shitty kind of trip for me. But I know California's gone through a pretty rough month, I would say. And I know you're kind of in the Bay Area. You're not quite in LA where a lot of the fires and stuff were happening. But like, what's the vibe? I mean, I'm sure it's pretty grim.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like I do live up here now, so I'm like 6 hours away, but I'm from down there. Lucy, my whole family's still there. Yeah. So like I'll talk to like my mom, my brother, and he's like, dude, like I can't, like my brother lives like right in like on the beach. We were right by the beach down in SoCal. I was like, dude, it's like there's just ash everywhere. Like I can't go running, I can't go outside. Like, and then in some way, just it's like it's weird. We're just far enough where like, I got my gym, for example. I was like, we're just training. I'm like, dude, I'll see you, tomorrow. I was like, dude, I don't know, actually. I'm a firefighter and I'm on standby. Me and all my guys we're waiting for a phone call and we might be on the next bus ride down to just help out. So it's like weird, like we're far, but we're still like, you feel it,
Yeah, totally.
It's really, and everybody you touch, someone has someone who's been affected. So I'm thankful I personally don't, but I know that a lot of people I am close with do,
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm on the other side of the world right now, but like, when all of that stuff was happening, like, there's people that I've met through doing this show, like people who run labels and people in bands and stuff. And I was like reaching out to people and I was like, dude, are you okay? Like, is your fucking house gone? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It looks insane. So I hope everyone's doing well and I hope your family's okay. I hope everything's all good. So
totally. Yeah, we're chilling, but thank you, man. I know, same, my thoughts are out to everybody because it's crazy. Like we had a big fire here in 2021 where we live, like right where we live. We were like on the borderline evacuation zone, and like it's just weird. It's just this very strange feeling, So
yeah,
and we're currently unblessed, so we're feeling good.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's turn our thoughts to something a little bit more positive. You're coming back for another tour, another visit. You've got the New Bloom Festival next month, and then they've just announced a bunch of headline shows that you're doing as well, with One Step Closer, jumping on those. So
yeah,
talk to me, what's the vibe like in the Drain camp? Are you pumped? I know you like coming here. I know the shows here are always sick, so what's the vibe?
dude, we're so stoked, and it's funny. It's like I feel like I don't know. Well, the first time we went to Australia, it's like we were about to roll out a new record. Like we were
Mhm.
sound checking every day with a new song, like in the empty rooms. And so it's like, you know, this time we go, we pretty much are going to leave from Australia and go straight to start recording this next album.
Sick.
It's weird. It's always like the precursor to like the next chapter.
Yeah.
And so we're excited, man. It's just fun, especially it's a rainy day here. I'm like, it's, you know, when you go to Europe, it's anywhere you tour, it's a little different. But for some reason, we go to Australia, it's like, dude, it's kind of like vacation,
Mm.
you know. And I don't really feel like that way necessarily with a lot of other places we tour. We're just, you know, pretty excited to drink good coffee and hang out and buy water if we can. And it's like we've been able to do that
Yeah.
when we go to Australia every time. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty epic, man. And not to mention, everyone's so nice. Everyone there's just so friendly and like just lovely to like to get to meet and talk to. So yes, we're very pumped, man. And especially for this one, I feel like because we opened for Come Back Kid the first time, and it was great. And then we came back and did our own headline, and it was also great. We're kind of like, okay, for us, maybe the next time we come, let's try to do something a little different. Let's try to open for maybe someone bigger. Maybe just get to play in front of people who don't know us.
Mm.
You know, and so we kind of get to do that with the festival dates, and then kind of get to do so we get like the best of both, you know.
Yeah.
Which will be really, I'm just excited to do that.
Yeah. I think there's definitely going to be a change in energy from, you know, watching a band like Balance and Composure, right? Sick band, incredible band for what they do, and friends of the show. But like, there's a vibe switch going on between like the Drain show and like the Balance show. So like, you're definitely going to be able to put your music and your vibe in front of a bunch of people who may not be ready for it, may not know what's up. But I'm sure like that's an exciting thing to be like, this is Drain, this is what we do, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes, exactly. And I'm like, it's funny. We're like, you know, we're not the softest band in the world, but we're also not like the heaviest band in the world either. We're like
No,
kind of
that's right.
in a strange like middle. So it's like in the last tour we did, you know, a lot of the headline days we were out with Anxious,
Oh, sick.
who were you know dope band, you know, and I feel like a lot of the bills we picked they were very heavy. So it'll kind of be cool to be for us to be the maybe outlier on the festival dates where it's like, okay, like there's a bunch of dope bands. I'm mostly stoked to see Glitterer. I'm so excited to see Glitterer. But like,
Fuck yeah.
you know what I mean? It'll be kind of cool to be the odd man out versus like the last tours, like Anxious was the softer band on a predominantly heavy show. And I like being the odd man. Even though it's a little weird sometimes and you gotta like navigate it. I like it.
Come with this world, the terrors of life, let keep me your way through the night. I'm poisoning myself like a sport, hereditary. The last best actor's illusion. First one down is the first one to finally escape. And I'll never lose. Die, we're running, we're hiding, we're lying, we're searching for solutions.
I want to kind of dig into the new record that you've mentioned. And I know like you probably can't give too many details and that's all fine. I more just want to know like conceptually kind of where the band is at, because like you said, like not the heaviest band, but you're also like a very fun kind of like melodic band. And I feel like listening to the previous records, I can see that trajectory, right? Like California Cursed is like a ripping record start to finish. It's got the riffs, it's got the mosh parts, it's heavy. And then Living Proof, you kind of get a little bit more fun with it. And it's still heavy in its own way, but there's like a more of like a fun kind of like energy to it. So are you trying to like bridge those two worlds on the new stuff? Are you pushing the band into new territory? Tell me what's up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's to be honest, I'm actually kind of stoked because I haven't done any interviews. I don't really do a lot of interviews, but like, so this is the first time I get to talk about this. Yeah, man, dude, it's been really like, okay, you know, we'll try to keep like semi short, but like, so when we started writing Living Proof, it was like we started writing it during like early beginning parts of COVID because not because we wanted to necessarily. It was just like we just put out California Curse, but we couldn't play on it. We were on like super lockdown.
It came out in 2020. I remember like it was like the like pandemic time. So yeah.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, well, we might not get to play, and we didn't play a show on that record for it was already a year and a half old by the time we played our first show.
That's crazy.
So it's like we eventually were like, okay, we don't want to just sit and do nothing, you know, and we don't want to just keep playing the same songs that aren't, you know, we can't play. So we're like, let's just start working on new music. So we did. And it's funny because you can kind of tell with Living Proof, like one of the songs we wrote like very early into COVID versus the last song we wrote right before record, we were in different mindsets. There was like a whole 2 years of writing, you know what I mean? And so I feel like, yeah, it was like, okay, I think that like with some of the tracks, the later written tracks on Living Proof are kind of more, that was more the direction of where we're trying to go. And yeah, so with this record, I feel like a big difference to me was like, yeah, so I'm backtracking. With Living Proof, we kind of had like a rotating lineup. It's mostly been like the three of us, me, you know, doing vocals and Cody on guitar and Tim on drums. And we've had like a bunch of different people play bass. The hardest part is usually it's someone who plays guitar in another band that's just like playing bass for us just to kind of, you know, just to do it. But everyone's got other bands. So it's like, anyways. So with this record, I actually bought a bass with Living Proof. I bought a bass and kind of like started trying to like teach myself how to play just to like hold the low end down at practice.
Right.
But, you know, I'm just kind of following, you know, what Cody would show me. So with this record, a big change is I actually I did quite a bit of writing on it, and I wrote it on bass with the big picture in mind, and then would bring it and, you know what I mean? And have like, so it's different. Like I can only use 2 fingers, dude. I don't even know what the strings are called. You know what I mean? I don't even know which the names are. So it's like, I kind of came with a different approach to it, and hopefully it'll be sick. But I think it was like, well, I don't know. I'm not the most like skilled musician, but I think that these notes and these chords sound good together. So then I bring it to Cody, who's like the secret weapon. I'm like, yo, here's like da da da, and he's like, okay, sick, and makes a cool rip out of it.
Right.
So I hope that the response is as cool as I think it will be, because it's been a lot of fun to do and like take this really stripped down idea and like come from the rhythm side and then bring it and have Cody like, you know, flare it to make it sound like it's not just Sammy's song. Now it's a Drain song. It sounds like us together. Yeah. So it's like, you know, I did a good amount. We all did. We've all brought things in. And that's the other thing too. It's like Tim, you know, we all play a bunch of different instruments. So like our drummer brought a whole song to the table with guitar. Our guitar player obviously did. I did. So it's like we all play drums. We all have. So it's like, yo, like let's pick the tempo. Let's do this. So I don't know. It's been fun. It's been a really fun time. And we're working with the producer on this record. We've never really done that.
Right.
In like we worked with Taylor Young for the last 2 records from like Twitching Tongues, and like, and it's been great, but we never did it. It was always like we'd go in with the record like 95% done. Yeah. And there'd be like a little like tweaks or little things we change. Whereas this one, we're like, hey, we're writing it with a producer and like coming up with some things we came in with, but like restripping songs out, rebuilding them. And I think it's made a huge difference. It just, the songs feel very flushed out and like just better songs, not better hardcore mosh parts, but just better songs. Yeah, so it's been really cool, man. It's some wild cards. I think that some people are gonna love it. I think some people will dislike it, but I think a lot of people are gonna love it. I hope at least. We love it. So that's all that really matters.
Absolutely.
And warm in my heart. So come on down and walk with me and tell me I'm your man. I only wanna know a couple of things about you. Where were you when I was in so much trouble with myself? And do you still believe in me like I believe? I've been thinking good things about you.
What's that like having, I guess, like working with a producer and someone who, I guess, like truly has an outsider perspective on what you're doing? And kind of like to your point, like it sounds like between the 3 of you, like very like core members kind of locked in making each of these Drain records. I would imagine that it's a little bit kind of nerve-wracking to kind of have a stranger essentially come into that process and be like, that sucks, that's good, get rid of that, change this. And like, was that like an adjustment process for you to be like, I gotta let them in, like this is my baby, like I can't let them like fuck with it too much, but I gotta like take some stuff on board? Like walk me through that. Like how do you approach it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think we did a pretty cool job of like when we started talking about wanting to do it, we were very like, okay, let's be like super realistic on who we want to invite into our world, you know?
Mm.
So we did a few calls with a few people, and you know, there's a handful that we liked, handful that were like didn't dislike, or just kind of like this is not going to be the right vibe, you
Yeah.
know? And so we were dealing with a dude named John Markson who actually he mixed our
Oh,
last
John's
record.
fantastic. He's great.
Oh, dude, he's the best. So okay, so you know him?
I'm familiar with his work. He worked with Drug Church. I think he did the last Anxious record. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Story so far, yeah. I don't maybe anxious. I know he did One Step Closer and Koyo.
Maybe
but
that's what I'm
Story
thinking
So Far-
of. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's for this dude's awesome. He's Jack Black. He's Jack Black School of Rock, but like in a real life function, dude. And I think that's like kind of why I didn't feel as nervous because he already kind of knew us, and like every time we play in the Northeast, he's at the show, just like watching, so he knows, and that's a big thing. I'm like, dude, you know what? I don't know. I could see it going both ways. I like that he's seen us. You know, like sometimes it's maybe nice to get a fresh someone who's an outsider, but for me, I'm like, dude, you know what our show looks like, so
Yeah.
you're not going to pitch something that would make no sense
Yeah.
for the shows that we play. You
He's
know,
already kind of got one foot in that world, right? Like he knows where you guys are from, knows the vibe of the band, knows the sound of the band, more importantly. So like he knows where your
Yeah.
ideas are coming from, so he can kind of tailor his ideas and feedback to that perspective.
Exactly. And that's where like kind of like, hey, like this is where we're at. And that's the thing was kind of interesting with Living Proof was like we wrote this record most of it when we weren't able to play any shows. So then by the time that we started playing shows, like we pretty much already had the record done and recorded by the time we did like our first like two tours back. So I guess the reason I say it's like what we knew as playing shows was they're already different. Like the last show we played pre-COVID was like in a backyard on a little stage that was built, you know, playing floor shows. And so then it's like, oh, like we're a little bigger now than we were. And so with this record, it's always like, not only do what we like to listen to has changed, but it's like, what are our shows looking like? You know, let's write music that's going to kind of cater to what this is. We're playing to bigger crowds now. So part of that's like, yo, of course some kids are gonna mosh. We still gotta bring the mosh. A lot of kids want to sing along. There's more people. Let's write songs that we can maybe have bigger. And that thing is so sick, bigger sing-alongs. And it doesn't mean that it's necessarily clean. They're just bigger, catchier parts.
Yeah.
That like the words the hook gets stuck in your head. Yeah. So it's been really cool. And like we toured really hard this last year. And we took the whole winter off. And we're literally just working on music. And so it's like a really good reference. Like we did 3 full US tours this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically 3.5 months on the road. And so we got a really good idea of like, hey, like this is our trajectory. This is how we want to bring this next chapter of the band out, you know?
Yeah, no, that's sick. And I guess like talking about the live show kind of goes straight into the next point that I had to bring up, which is that I feel like the Drain show is kind of unique in the hardcore punk space, right? Because like you guys can play on a bunch of different mixed bills with, you know, really heavy like beat down bands. You can play with like a skate punk band. Like you're in this kind of like nice sweet spot where you can play on a bunch of different bills, but your energy and your vibe on stage is still quite unique in that like in hardcore there's a lot of I guess you would call it like performative type of stuff going on. Like people want to mosh super hard, people want to stage dive, people want to like look a certain way and have a show that performs a certain way. You guys are like pool noodles, inflatable sharks, like everyone's getting goofy with it, everyone's having a fun time, and that's sick. But I wanted to ask, like, was there ever a point where you were like, I don't know if our approach to this is the right fit, and I don't know if people like other bands and other people in this scene are going to fuck with it? Was that ever something that like you had to think about, or were you just doing you and people vibed with it, and then that's just been the train that's rolling on?
Dude, to be honest, that's kind of the latter. We were just like, dude, I just don't really give a fuck, man. Honestly, like, I don't know. I really have it. I'm like, dude, I'm not cool. I don't really give a fuck, dude. I'm just gonna be like, we were talking about this the other day. Like, we played this show, like one of the first like really good shows we'd played at the time. In like the early years of the band, it was like, dude, I think Drain collectively were we had the only colorful clothing on.
Yeah.
Not even merch. We went to the show and it was like this, like it was in a skate park inside of a warehouse. Like everything was just black tees, black, just like. And then we went up and fucking, I was like, dude, I'm just wearing my little shorts because that's what I like to wear.
Yeah.
That's what makes me feel good. And dude, usually you walk out, like you play a set and you're done, especially at like that level where it's like there is no like backstage. It's like you just play and you get the gear and you walk through the crowd and bring it out to start loaning out. Usually you get like, yo, dope set, dude. Just watch, dude. I felt like fucking Moses, dude. People were just like clearing a path and no like daps on the back, like, yo, you killed it. We were just like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I don't care. I just don't really care. Like, yeah, like if you don't like it, that's okay. But like, I'm not gonna change to try to be that. Like, I'll be honest. I feel like it was, like bringing beach. We live by the beach? So it was like, oh, this is just fun. Like, to be honest, like at this point where we're at, I really do rock with beach ball still. They're just fun. I kind of like do like the pool noodles kind of become a nuisance. So like, dude, it's like, it's not, I'm like, all right, kind of not as fun anymore. Cause it's just, it's getting out of control.
Sure.
And where it's like, it's actually with the first time we played in Melbourne,
I remember seeing footage from that show. It was fucking crazy.
Oh, dude, it was the first time we're like, they were getting the thing and like actually poking the guitar strings. And so we were like, oh, now we can't like play. You know what I mean? It's usually just hit each other, but then they're hitting us. And I was like, oh, like I'm missing notes now. But dude, it's again, that's like, I don't know. I feel like it's not, I don't want to say it's not about the music because it's not, that is important, but it's like the record is to listen to the music and the live is for the show. And if I don't play it perfect like I do in the record, that's okay because at least I know the show is badass.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, it's a lot of, that's some of the themes I kind of explore on this record where it's like, dude, there is a lot of like posturing. There's a lot of like things where it's like, and at one point in my life, I'm like, yo, fuck everybody, you're not whatever. At this point, I'm like, dude, you should just take the time to find who you really are, whatever it is. And it might be something completely different for me, and that's sick. And the dudes that really are the real ones that are like really fucking actually bad motherfuckers, like you see it, like I'm like, dude, real recognizes real. I'm like, yo, you mean what you say. Yeah. You like, it's very select few of bands where I'm like, oh, he really means what he'll say. That guy will kill you. You know what I mean? Like the other 300 bands that want to be that guy, they don't. Yes. That dude is. And that's what's so funny. It's like me and my little shorts, I can roll up and have a full, and actually be able to have like a real conversation, a relationship with somebody that is completely different. And there's mutual respect. I had some of the scariest dudes like, dude, that was really cool. You shouted out like your parents when they came to see you play. Like, I love that. Yeah, I remember when my parents came to see me play for the first time. They met a lot. And I'm like, dude, that's the realest dude ever right there. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's crazy out there.
Stop the fire, that's the start my heart. There's people like you, there's people like me. Just the thing that I don't wanna be. Don't pick up that anymore. Just wanna watch it fucking.
I just think like I've always respected what you guys do because it just seems so authentic. And like, I know that's like a bit of a corny word to talk about, especially in like the hardcore and punk spaces, but truthfully, like that's what Drain embodies to me, is this sense of like, we do things a little bit differently on the West Coast. Like, we are from California, we are beach dudes. So like, if we look like we've just rolled up out of the surf, fucking so be it. Like, that's what we're doing. Like, that's who we are. And I feel like, if you're really riding for hardcore and the history and you know the bands, then like that's the most authentic thing that you can do. Like all of the posturing and all the other bullshit, like that can only get you so far. But like people will know what's real and they will ride with it because they want something that reflects who they are as well. So yeah, I think fuck them, do it. Sounds
Thanks,
sick.
man. Dude, I appreciate that, man. And it's true. It's just like, I don't know. And maybe like it wasn't an unconscious thing, but now that we're like, getting to a level where people do know us or starting to know us, it's like, I think it's cool. And I hope maybe some kids can find us and be like, oh, dude, like I actually kind of feel like I can relate and identify with those guys, like, as I live in the suburbs. I'm not a street kid. Like, if you look at our band, our art, our merch, it's like, it looks like the environment that we see. You're a product of your environment. Dude, our town is not gray and black. My town is green because there's trees and beautiful greenery and blue ocean everywhere. It's like, I like that. And I actually love it. I try to spend as much time as I can around that,
Yeah, totally.
So it's just cool. It's my favorite. It's like we've always, like the last few tours we've done, we've had a pattern of like ending it in Santa Cruz. The last show. And my favorite is when bands and other people are like, dude, I see why you guys are the way you are. Like after they come there and they're like, they like get to the show and I'm like, dude, go here, get coffee here, get food here, drive down the street, take a look, and they're like, I get it. They see why you guys are. I'm like, dude, it's just what it is, man.
Yeah, that rules. We're coming up on the end of our slot here, so I will say I'll have links in the episode description for people to check out the fest, check out the headline shows if they're in those cities, and make sure they catch you guys while you're here. But Sammy, thank you so much for taking time with me. This has been dope.
Dude, thank you, Owen, and thank you to everyone for tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all. All love and respect.
Much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/tpdpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/tpdpod. Thanks for watching the show.